So, my name is Jennifer Fuller, and this is my senior exit project. About me, my full name is Jennifer Marie Fuller, born September 4th, 2001. My favorite memory of school is doing the Byron High School yearbook. Done it for 2 years, and it's my pride and joy. This year I did almost half of it. My extracurriculars, I've done 9 years of band ever since 4th grade, 3 years of color guard, which I absolutely love color guard. I was very disappointed that they had to shut it down this year because not enough people. Yearbook for 2 years, FFA freshman and sophomore year, dropped it in junior year. Wasn't really my partake of interest. And then I did middle school cross country for 2 years. My vision board, I plan to go to Mott in the fall of 2020 and partake in many majors because I like to expand my skills, and nursing, photography, interior design. I want either a 1984 Camaro like my father has. I've been trying to get his for ages. I plan on doing interior design and construction because I want to build my own house, which this is a plan I want to do. I want to go to Ireland, move there, enjoy their scenery in Dublin. And then kids, I do not particularly know if I want them or not. They're hesitant, probably in the next 10 years. My educational timeline, it's been rough. My elementary to middle school, I was trouble. Community service. I worked for the fun fair, and then I did the concession stands, which Howard suggested me to do, so thanks for suggesting me that. And then almost daily I've been working on a park. I probably spend almost 32 hours on that so far right now, and I absolutely make that my goal to rebuild it completely. This is my business cover letter and my interview. I interviewed Laura Loviego. She is Miss Lake's mother-in-law. Her mother-in-law did nursing for a few years, and then she transferred to interior design. She wanted to do nursing because she always wanted to help people, and I have that encouragement of helping the community and some people when it comes to certain needs. And interior design, I'm always interested in building and fixing things. And I have that artistic skill that I could tell which platform goes to which article. And so I wanted to go down the same path as she did, just with some extra hobbies. And I really admire her and her path she's chosen. This is my resume. I will give some credit to Ms. Bauer because she did help me. We did this 2 years ago, and then Ms. Trev told us we had to edit it, and Howard assisted on some editations. These are my friends. Some are online, some are here. This is Mike. I've been friends with him for 6 years. He's in college at Rhode Island. This is Garrett. Same, 7 years. Haven't talked to him in a year now. Izzy and Will. They're in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania. I have friends all over the world, which I've met one of them so far. This is Paige and me at her Christmas party a few years ago. That was a weird experience. And then Celery, Celeste, which she's back there almost crying. We've been friends for 5 years. I'm gonna miss her dearly. And then Kyle, he's been a friend And then Kelsey Burnell, some know her younger brother, half brother, Antonio Bernard. We used to live next door. We would hang out at the park sometimes, talk to each other. And then Connor, which is over here, cut off. We are together, best friends, chilled. He's a lot to me. And then Colin Radicke, a lot of us know him. He has done so much for me. He has helped me when people would come up and harass me. He would help me, protect me. He was more of a caregiver that I could handle. This is my family. Couldn't get any pictures of my dad because he's camera shy, even though he loves photography. This is me, my little sister, and John, which is back there. He's a goofball. He's just kind of like my brother, always weird, outlandish, riled. Here's my brother, me, and my little sister playing Uno. We like to play a weird, different type of Uno and like to mess around, make everyone mad on crazy Uno, making each other draw 9 cards and then start screaming at each other. Here's my dog. I love him. He's my comforter at night. His name's Paolo. I have an older sister named Cassie, and I can't get much pictures of her because she blocks me on everything. And then here's my 8th grade trip with me and my sister. Me and her were best friends. Now she's getting to that point. She wants to learn on her own. And then here's the carnival we went to during winter, which was pretty nice. It was quite interesting watching people almost fall. Letter to my parents. Yes, we have had our fights. We have had many incidents. But yet, you're my go-to mom. You've been there through everything. And I'm glad I still have you. Even though you do scare me sometimes when you talk about having your issues at work and then between you and Dad. And I'm glad you finally have John in your life. I'm really glad. I wish my dad was here, but he had work. I really wish he was here. Even though me and him don't get along, he likes to force his church on me, which I'm glad he wants to have hope for me. He's still there and supportive, giving me advice. When people are being mean, he's the one that tells me to be strong, tells me advice, and helps me out. And John, I count you as a parent because you're one of the good supporters. You help me with the park, you help me with so much. You're like the one father I really want in my life. And I know you and my mom have a nice relationship, but I'm glad you can make her happy. That's my goal for her. I've always wanted to see her smile, and I haven't seen her smile between everything that's been going on, and now you make her smile, and I'm glad for that. Letter to my supporters. Mr. Howard, thank you for putting up with me for years. You've heard so many words that weren't kind. You've seen me storm out of classrooms. And I'm glad you put up with me for years of that. Miss Navarro, thank you for the 2 years. You've made me reach out to the limits of stepping out my comfort zone, encouraging me to go further with my art skills and helping me on what schools to go to and letting me get the chance of what I need. I want to say thanks to Mrs. and Mr. Jocelyn. I don't know if Paige is in here. I don't see them. But throughout the 9 years I was at my dad's house, I would always go over there. We would go eat Taco Bell every day. They would take me shopping all the time. They made me experience life that normal teenagers should be, but I was so down and didn't want to move. They were the ones that encouraged me to actually exist. My 3-word essay, 3 to 6, I edited it it was wish, believe, and retrieve, but I just thought work should be added in, so wish, believe, work, and retrieve. Wishing, you always wish for something, but you feel like you can't retrieve it. So you wish, and then after you actually start believing you can do it, you start working for it, and then you retrieve what your goal is. And it's a very proud encounter, I really believe it. For the past 5 years, this is my goal to go through. These are my inspirations through years. I transfer my inspirations every yearly. Some of these have taken me out of depression, sadness, when I wanted to cancel everything in my life. These guys have been the ones there for me. My main one that stood out more, she likes to do cosplay. She was my encouragement in freshman and sophomore year. That's why I wore cat ears and all that. She doesn't care what anyone says. She just encourages you to be you. She's spontaneous. She is wild. She cares so much for everyone that she's willing to do anything for. My advice and thoughts. Advice, be you. Don't let anyone tell you who to be. Be you. If you want to go wear cat ears, wear cat ears. If you want to wear flannels, wear flannels. Don't think other people would actually be your opinionators. Thoughts of the senior project. I hate it. I will be honest, I hate it. I'm sorry, Ms. Trev, but worst time of my life.
Heard about that.
Sitting there for hours upon hours, having to bug Howard constantly, say, hey, can you look this over? Can you do this for me, please? I was so scared of how it's gonna look, so I always constantly bugged him, and I hated it. Any questions? There's so many. Probably when I'm constantly walking down the halls to get photos and interviews for yearbook, that would probably be the best one. Jessica?
What advice would you give your freshman year self?
My advice would be continue pushing forward, because I know around that time some people will start feeling lonely and hurt and suffocated because the halls are always crammed. I would say relax, breathe, and just let loose. Don't worry about anything. The time you have to worry about is when you actually start trying to get to the real world.
If you could change high school and like redo it, what would you redo?
Oh, there's so much I would redo. I would honestly redo my stubbornness and expand my communication circle.